Good afternoon, everyone. It is Thursday, May 22nd, 2025. Did Bears drop the ball again, or are we looking at a possible another leg down tomorrow? Let's get into it here with our daily SPY SPX analysis. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. I appreciate each and every one of you helping out the channel. Also, consider coming find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Let's get into it here today. So markets with this is a total snooze here for the most part. We were really pinned to about 58.50 all day long, and there's a pretty good dealer hedge that was just sitting, pretty much at that level for the majority of the day, and that was kind of giving us clues as to where this market was going to go. We were able to see the dealer kind of just hedging. They were pretty much negatively hedged all day long up until about an hour ago. We actually caught, these two kind of bull traps here, based on that hedge. But the thing is, it kind of works like support and resistance. The longer you kind of base and consolidate and hammer on it, eventually can flip over, and it did flip over. So did Bears drop the ball? It's going to be, we'll have to see tomorrow. I think there's a couple of reasons why we didn't go down today. Well, actually, really just one big one, and that's yields. So if we just look at the 30-year, actually, let's look at ZB so we can see the futures. You can see we just pushed down here, and my thought is that this was not, sneaking up on anybody, right? Everybody all night long, yields, 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 yields this, yields that. And I think you got maybe a little crowded here in the bond department, in the bond short department. And as such, there just wasn't follow through. And you can see, if we just take ZB here, look at that, right? Okay, now look at ES. It's the same chart, right? So we're seeing that lockstep correlation. Another reason I think we didn't go down is I think a lot of people were looking for continuation, even myself included. And I didn't like how we sold off pre-market. I actually covered a majority of my leverage short here down at 58.38. Left a runner, which I did dump. I'm actually out pretty much in all cash now. I don't have any shorts out there, just full disclosure. We could still roll over here into power hour. I'm doing the video a little early. We could also see the market, gap down on macro news tomorrow. Tonight, if we gap below today's low, we're going to flush. We'll flush to 575. And the thing I do find strange here to make the bear case right now in the short term is every day this week they've had interest at 580. Even a little bit at 575, and as well as 5800 SPX. Usually when I see that every day for like 4 or 5 days in a row, they're going to want to go down there and get that. There's usually like a fishing net sitting there for a reason. So it's just strange. It was just strange that we touched 580 pre-market to the penny. And it's just strange we wouldn't touch that during market hours. So maybe it's just kind of like a situation where everybody's kind of expecting it to happen, so it just didn't. And maybe we'll gap down tomorrow, and they just, they're making the bears hold the risk into the overnight. I've seen that happen plenty of times. That said, if we don't get any macro news, we got a 3-day weekend coming up. Fund managers are going to be leaving for the Hamptons tomorrow if there's no reason for them to stay. So it may be another quiet session. So again, we are into a period where the market is less supported, but it still needs a reason to go down. So it's not just going to go down because we're in a bear cycle or something like that. It's not the way it works. It has to have a reason to go down, and if it doesn't, it'll just pop back up, right? If the short bond trade is too crowded and CLT gaps down and then closes green, right, the market's not going to go down. So I think that's kind of your case there for that. I think another thing too, perhaps a lot of people looking at the 200 moving average for a dip buy. Sometimes it doesn't give it to you right away, right? We talked about these gaps. They might fill, but what if they go higher first? What if we go up, make a new high, and then we go fill it? It's possible. So right now, clock's ticking on bears. Got to do damage here. Take these moving averages out. Break 5,700. Get us down to this gap. The more time that they leave on the clock here, the less time there is to actually, where there's weakness available. VIX, you're losing 20 already. right? Vol sellers are winning, right? You know, they got hit a little bit yesterday, but they got this under control. This stays below 20. We got a holiday coming up. They can float this thing right back up. So that's the now. I don't think we're going to go up and just rip to new highs. I think if anything, this pattern's still kind of ugly. It probably needs to chop, but you know, it can stabilize though. So again, there is, you know, the market is more vulnerable right now, but it needs a reason to go down with the new fresh VIX contract. And we've been trying to accept this area all day. The only thing that like kind of pisses me off is that, you know, it's like all these, every FOMO, undisciplined FOMO dip buyer is going to get bailed out now. And yesterday, you know, we had a good, they closed it below this low. So I was like, okay, there's longs trapped, so we'll probably go down. But they didn't do it. So I guess the conviction's just not there. We'll see if it happens tomorrow. On the other side, 5,900 is your obvious line in the sand. You guys should know that if you've been watching the videos. QQQ, 520, big level on the upside. And again, 510, that's been sitting down there for days. Even 500, you know, it's just strange for them to see it not go down there and tag. But I guess it's just pure bear greed to think that, you know, we could go down to 5,800. I mean, what pigs bears are for thinking that we could possibly go that low. I mean, if you didn't go all full port long this morning, I mean, you're just an absolute idiot. I mean, this is a generational dip here. So I guess, you know, I guess that's goes without saying. IWM up 85 cents here. Island top, but hey, you know, when the you know, market's supported, it just doesn't follow through. So we'll see if that holiday period kind of volume comes in. Dow also getting a pop. SMH still trying to flag. That's hanging in there. IGV still acting well. Transports were down big yesterday, but again, they're holding the inside bar low. And we effectively, you know, touched that trend line essentially. So that's pretty much all on the up and up there. 2-year today, that did back off. Let's get a daily, but not a ton. This is still kind of bull flagging here. So you need this to roll over if we're going to get a cut in June, I think. And yields obviously started off, made new decade highs, and they came in. It's still not broken, right? Like just because it reversed doesn't mean it, you know. It could still just stabilize and go higher. But it did reverse. That obviously helped out the market a lot. Housing, XHP down 19 cents. It came off the lows with yields coming in. Same thing with VNQ. XLF was not that strong today, but it did come back to green. Same thing on KRE, KBE. Broker dealers were weak earlier. That did come back though. And oil was weak earlier, kind of a reverse of yesterday. It was strong overnight, came in, but held support. And it's still ping-ponging through here. If it can break 62, I think if it hits 62 again, I don't think it gets held down. So I'm still kind of bullish on oil here. XLE, possible higher lows here. That's just ticking green right now. XOP, finding a support with the necktie of the 20 and 50 MA. So good bounce there, working on a higher low. And OIH, same thing, although that is still the weakest group, or weakest ETF in the group. Nat gas down 10 cents. Still inside of that pop-up bar on Tuesday. Dollar held up all day long, and dollar yen held up all day long too. This got a bounce. Again, probably signaling some strength here, which helped the market. By the way, Tesla really strong today. I guess record highs and yields is good for that. Gold here down 0.5%. Nothing doing there. Silver retesting the flag. That's still got a little bit more structure to build. Palladium continuing to act well. Palladium stalling out. And then copper holding up here today, but not much going on there. Lastly, Bitcoin up 1.8. Again, new high, new closing high, unless we reverse here. No changes. This is still, was always just a bull flag. Right? No changes, no problems. It's at highs. So anyway, we'll see what happens here. We got about 40 minutes left. We could still sell. I don't really think we're going to, but it could still happen. We're going to need to see the bears step in right now. And, you know, VIX it's holding up. We'll see if it happens. So, I'm pretty much, I'm out of all these shorts. So, it can dump now, I guess. But, yeah, you got to reclaim 20. If they keep that off of there, we're going to have a holiday float here. So, or, unless we get a macro reason to sell. But we'll see. 5,900 will be your next level on the upside. So, anyways, guys, I'll wrap it up here again. You guys take care. Don't forget to come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I will see you guys all tomorrow.